Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right in to cut through the noise and look at the actual legal and societal mechanics of same-sex marriage. We're not just brushing over the broad strokes here. We are going to dive deep into a specific framework that maps out exactly how legal recognition, or, the lack of it, really ripples through human rights, state policies, and everyday family life.
But before we get completely bogged down in the heavy legal frameworks and state policies, it's important to remember that everything we're looking at today is anchored by one very human idea. Love deserves equality. It's a simple concept, for sure, but as we'll see, actually turning that sentiment into a concrete civic reality is incredibly complex.
All right, let's establish our baseline in Section 1, defining marriage equality. Just to make sure we are strictly talking about the law here, our baseline definition for today is simply this: the legal union of two people of the same gender. That's it. We are intentionally separating the legal, state-recognized contract from any religious or purely social definitions. And honestly, this distinction matters a lot on a global scale, because while legal recognition has definitely expanded in recent years, a massive portion of the world still doesn't officially recognize same-sex marriage at all. So this isn't just some localized theoretical debate, right? It's a daily, lived reality that actively affects millions of LGBTQ+ couples all over the world.
Which brings us to Section 2, the human rights perspective.
The source material breaks the harms down into what's basically three falling dominoes. First, there's the literal lack of recognition. The state is just simply turning a blind eye. Second, because the state doesn't see the union, couples are completely locked out of critical rights. We're talking everything from emergency healthcare decisions to property inheritance. And third, that legal marginalization, it feeds right back into everyday societal stigma. So what's the actual tangible benefit of fixing this? Well, the argument laid out here is fourfold. Legal recognition doesn't just benefit the individual couples, it's a net positive for society as a whole. It elevates baseline human rights, forces broader societal inclusion, builds these absolutely vital legal safety nets around LGBTQ+ families, and actively dismantles ongoing discrimination. Now, let's zoom in a bit for Section 3, current law in the Philippines. If we look at the Philippines as a primary example, we see a legal system that is in direct tension with massive social advocacy. As it stands right now, Philippine law restricts marriage exclusively to a man and a woman. But right up against that strict legal wall, there's a highly active, organized push from LGBTQ+ groups who are fighting to rewrite that very framework. Okay, so how do we get there? Let's look at Section 4, Proposed Policy Solutions. This roadmap is super interesting because it treats equality not just as a single law you can pass, but as a chain reaction. Step 1 is the baseline. You have to legalize same-sex marriage, but it doesn't stop there at all. Step 2 reinforces it with stronger anti-discrimination laws. Step 3 targets the actual root of the stigma, with gender equality education. And Step 4 solidifies everyday protections with equal family and property rights. You literally need all four gears turning together to make the whole thing work. And that leads us to Section 5, expected societal outcomes. If those four policy steps we just talked about are the input, what exactly is the expected output? Well, advocates draw a direct line between these actions and a significantly healthier society. Legal recognition breeds overarching equality. Anti-discrimination laws quite literally reduce societal bias. Better education fosters a much more inclusive culture. And equal rights? They ensure that families are actually protected under the law. Plain and simple. Ultimately, the framework we've been unpacking today basically boils down to three undeniable core beliefs from the advocates. 1, same-sex marriage is fundamentally a human rights issue, not just a political football. 2, equal treatment under the law is a baseline right that everyone deserves. And 3, simply put, love shouldn't be constrained by gender. It all really circles back to this one definitive, powerful idea from the source text: equal rights belong to everyone. Well, that about wraps up our explainer for today. We've mapped out the definitions, the current legal hurdles, and a really comprehensive roadmap for change. But listen, the real-world conversation is far from over. So I want to leave you with this thought. How will these proposed policies reshape the future of family law globally? It's a massive question, and it's one that every evolving society is going to have to answer eventually. Thanks so much for watching, and keep exploring the policies that are shaping our world.